Now the first thing we're going to need to do is print out the design, obviously. Here I printed the green copy. Very simple. You want to cut out where all the solid lines are and fold where the dotted lines are. The dotted lines can be a little bit difficult to see, more so on some colours than others. Very helpfully, we've given you a guide. You should be able to download and print this out if you want, or you can just view it on your computer, and this shows you clearly, if we put those together, shows you clearly where the dotted lines and the solid lines are. I always like to try, don't always succeed, and cut so the black lines disappear. I actually cut them off. I'll show you what I mean, because in good old Blue Peter style, I have got one over here. Let me just get rid of that one, which I have cut out, this time being the red one. And you should end up with something like that. Notice these slits are important, they go past the colour on all four corners. And you can see that on the guide here. You do right along this line, so it goes past and up to this dotted line here, which is very difficult to see on this red design. Anyway, you end up with this, and you should also end up with these. Let me just turn that over and get a white. You should end up with two of these as well, which are the end tabs. This is the new bit on the new design to make it more solid. So now I'm simply going to go along and score the dotted lines. Doesn't matter which side you score it. I score by using my metal ruler, get it in the right place, and I've just got an old kitchen knife and I use the blunt side of it. Don't want to use a serrated side, there's a slight serrated edge there that'll rip and tear the card, and I don't want to do that, so I use the blunt side. I just do 3 lines like that, and you probably can't see, but that has scored and will make folding that a lot easier. And I'm going to go around and do score all the dotted lines. I know there's one there. I can't actually see it, but I know it's there. So ruler down. 1, 2, 3. I shall go around and do that over the whole thing, and then we're going to fold and stick it. Right, well, as you can see, I've creased all that and done temporary folds just to make sure it goes over, and that's all fine. And I do have a certain order which I've developed of doing this, and here's my end tabs. Now make sure you bend the underneath tab back, as hopefully you can see this. It is going on there, and those two are curling round under there. And it's these end tabs I'm going to do first, because that gives you the width for holding the sides. So I'm going to stick the end tabs first. Very simply done. Bit of Pritt stick. Other glues are available. I'm using the Pritt stick. Along there on the inside of the 2 tabs, don't forget, for the sides, and stick it on there so it's right up against the side there. Easier said than done, I expect, but let's give that a bash. Make sure you are gluing the right spot. There we go. Top on that, make sure it doesn't dry out. Too many dried out Pritt sticks around here. And that's the one end done. And I hope you'll agree that is the improvement on the last design where it didn't have that extra tab. Not sure how well I can show you that. Hopefully you can see there and there. That is now firmly stuck in place, and that will give us our distance for these tabs here, both how far they can go down and how far they can go across. So obviously I want to do the same the other end, and then I'll leave that to dry. Right, well, the two end pieces are now stuck. And the next thing I'm going to do is stick down the four corners. I do this next rather than the edges because I want to make sure those corners are nice and flush and where they should be. Then the edge will go down where it can. So I'm going to do the four corners. Doesn't really matter which way round you do them. I tend to do them with that flap on top. I've got no idea why that is. And again, a little bit of Pritt stick which I'll put on both sides. And that's going on there. I have got, make sure that's out of the way, I have got some paper clips here which I will use to hold that whilst it glues. I won't tell you how long it took me to find some paper clips in this house which hadn't been pulled apart, but I shall use these when I get it under the right bit. There we go, just to hold it in the right place whilst that glues. Same with this side. I think I'll have a little bit more glue on there actually. That goes on there. Find the paper clip, and again I should put it on there so it will hold. Whilst it glues. There we go. There. No need to wait for that to dry. I can carry straight on and do the other end. Okay, we've put that to one side and let it dry. I'm just going to have a quick look at the back. Now, you may not always want to use the back. It depends what you're going to be doing with the frame. If you're going to use it in a card, this is the old style frame, but you can see it's been made into a card. Well, I stuck the frame straight onto the card, so there was no need for a back at all. If you want to use it as a normal frame, maybe you'd like to cut out the whole thing, including the middle, and put that on the back. It'll close it up and make it look nice. If you're using it for something like glass painting where you want the light to come through, then cut out the frame, including cutting out the middle, and stick that on the back. But not immediately, you'll want to put your work into the piece first. Anyway, while my frame's gluing, I'm just going to cut out the back so it's ready. Right, I think those four corners have dried, so we'll just take the paper clips off. Try not to lose them down there. There we go. And obviously that leaves these two sides here which still need sticking. Now whether you do that now or not depends on what you are going to use this for. Now this particular frame I'm making, I say, if you wanted you could just stick those two down now and then it'll go on a card. I'm actually going to use this in a bit of glass painting I'm doing, so I'm not going to stick those down just yet, because what I want to do is make a couple of holes and put a thread through, so I've got a hanger, in this case at the top, so it wouldn't have mattered really if I'd stuck those down. It's easier without, but certainly if you're going to do it on long ways, you want a landscape frame, then you'd want to do the holes now. Now I'm doing the holes quite simply. I've scrunched up this is a bit of the card I had cut off. I'm going to just slip that in there. Now I'm lining it up with this edge here, so I can get roughly the same either side. I've got a needle here, which I can't pick off the table. There we go. Because I've got that cardboard inside, make sure I'm in the right place. There we go. And just push it through. There we go. That's gone in. I've already done a hole the other side, so I'm actually just going to thread this cotton through. If I can hit that hole on the other side. So there we go. There we go. Thread my cotton through. Then I'm going to break that off, tie it up. It's obviously far too long for now, but I will sort that out later. So just tie it off for now, and later I'll be able to make that into a nice hanger. There, just to keep that to one side. I have cut out the back, and again, after sticking these down, I could, if I wanted to just use it as a frame, stick the hole back on, and you've got a frame. As said, I'm going to use this as a bit of glass painting, so I'm going to cut out the middle, stick these down, but I'm not going to put the back on until I put my bit of glass painting in there first. So let me get on and stick these down, cut that middle out of there, and then I'll hopefully be able to show you my finished bit of glass painting. So here's the final product. I hope you do like it. As you can see, I've added a loop to the top so it can be strung up on a window, and I've put the backing on, and I've cut the middle out of the backing because obviously this is glass painting and you want the light to come through. So the backing depends on what you want to use the frame for. If you're going to stick it on a card, you don't have to put a back on at all. If you want to do glass painting, you're best to cut the centre of the back out and just use the outside. And if you want to use it as a normal frame, you can certainly leave the centre of the back in. Anyway, that's our new 3D frame design, which can be used card making, glass painting, or any other paper craft you can think of. Thanks for watching. Bye.